dun, 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 dun. We're gonna get sued for me humming that song.
Yep.
Dun, 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 dun,
You're
dun,
gonna
dun.
get canceled.
For liking Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
I've never watched it.
What?
I never got into Jurassic Park. I'm sorry.
You
Ah.
you
Yeah,
should.
I know. This will be my last show. Doesn't make sense.
Clever girl.
It's a good it's a good movie. You should check it out.
But what if I'm just not really? Here's the thing: Steven Spielberg. Don't get me wrong. He is a visionary for cinema. Yet most of his movies I've actually never really watched nor cared about.
Never seen Indiana Jones?
No, I've not
Oh,
seen E.T. I've not seen Indiana Jones. I've seen Schindler's List.
Pick the most depressing one they have.
well, no wonder you don't want to watch the others.
Jaws? Have
I've
you
seen
seen Jaws?
I've seen part of Jaws, not the whole thing. I've seen part of it.
I'm
Hmm.
shocked.
What are we gonna do with you?
Sit him down and make him watch Jurassic Park and 3 of the Indiana Jones movies.
Yes.
I like South Park. Does that count?
Does not count.
No. I've seen Catch Me If You Can, which I thought that was a really brilliant movie.
That was a fantastic movie. That's one of my favorites.
There's people in the chat. So, hello everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the Just Us Marks Wrestling Recap Show. I am the Athletic Geek, joined on the other end of the tin cannon string by EZ.
Hello, or if you're also just tuning in, this is which movies Easy should be watching.
Yeah, we could do a whole podcast on that one, and what books
Legit.
and what books you need to read, and what comic books you need to read, and all that stuff.
Books are too hard for me. They're full of words.
That's why you read comic books. There's pictures too. And CJ from Team L Zero's here.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy. All right. So we have a
Up
shit.
40 and check your rollies. It's crime time.
Brooklyn,
Sorry,
Brooklyn.
Bring
So we have a shit ton of things to talk about tonight, and
That's an understatement.
yeah. But if you've never seen this show before, this is the Just Us Marks Wrestling Recap Show. I met CJ locally. I met Easy at All In and Starcast. We love wrestling. We love talking wrestling. We love sharing. I love pro wrestling. Each and every one of you out there. However, just like each and every one of you out there, we're just marks. We're just fans. Our opinions don't have any other fans. We avoid insider terms because we're not wrestlers. We're not insiders. We are just marks. That is the abridged, fast version of all of this because we're going to start this off early by lighting the fuse and bringing the boom and talking dynamite. Ray's in the house. It's you. And Miss Ace is also in the house. So, yeah.
Oh, hey, Ray, congratulations. You finally got AEW going to Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm. That's cool for them. So
Hey, you saw Rampage.
we saw a very, very mid show. A very mid show.
It was a good
I'd make a
rant.
joke.
It was a good show. It was a good show, but it was definitely not. Definitely not one of them like where it's like, oh my god, you're getting this? Wow, that's so great for you. It's like no. If WWE had given us this show, you'd go like, yeah, hey, you guys kind of got fucked a little
Okay, fine.
bit.
At least you got the Royal Rumble and you saw the WrestleMania screen catch fire.
I'd say the AEW was maybe
Rampage was better than the Rumble.
It was better than the Rumble, but it was also like the Royal Rumble was like a fucking being hit by the pitch, and Rampage was getting walked to first base. Yeah. walked to first base, and maybe you did score at the end of it, but you didn't get a hit. You just walked to first base.
Also, like Homer at the bat, he gets hit by the pitch. He got the winning run because he just got clunked in the head.
No, getting hit is watching Royal Rumble with how bad of a show that was. Check out our podcast and hear
This
us
is
talk
why
about
we
that
rarely
long term.
talk WWE.
Yeah, if WWE gave us something to talk about, we would. I mean, hey, I'm not a
If
player.
we got something to talk about, that's why I said rarely we talk about.
Let's say I'm not a player hater. If they turn something around by WrestleMania, cool. I'm not. I will happily talk about them.
Yeah, like an Asuka return would be nice.
Not gonna happen.
Like in anything,
Alexa Bliss becoming normal would be nice.
I like Alexa Bliss this way. But
They
anyway,
sell more dolls this way.
So the first part that happened on Dynamite was Tony Khan making a huge announcement. And, he's Tony Khan, and he was going to lay an earth-shattering announcement. Hello, I am proprietor of AEW and the Jacksonville Jaguars, Tony Khan, and I'm here to deliver a huge announcement. Wrestling is a part of our modern... is part of our fabric of our society. Hi, I'm Tony Khan.
Wrestling in the dictionary is described as.
Yeah, this this was
kind of milking it, wasn't he?
He did like 5 different openers for the whole speech before he decided to give the speech.
Yeah. It was described as the Michael Scott at Phyllis's wedding of speeches, and yeah, I'm inclined to agree. But it was a big announcement that Tony Khan has acquired Ring of Honor. We will be discussing that in long form a little bit later on in the stream. But because of that, he used this as an opportunity to bring out 2 of the founding fathers of Ring of Honor, Bryan Danielson and Christopher Daniels. They followed the Code of Honor, and they had a pretty damn good fucking match, especially Christopher Daniels, who's 51 years old.
And we haven't seen in God knows how long.
Yeah. So, yeah. Really like this match. I really like how Brian's a son of a bitch, huh?
A little bit.
Yeah, he's an ass.
Did you say he's an ass man?
No, the Ass Boys came out later though.
I would say he's an asset.
Hey,
accounting jokes.
There we go.
Yeah. So, good match. What'd you guys think of this match?
I liked it. Like, I didn't even. He said that they were the main event of the first Ring of Honor show, right? Or did they open Ring of Honor?
They were the main event. The main event of the first Ring of Honor show was Christopher Daniels versus Bryan Danielson versus Loki. And obviously Loki's not there, but they brought that out as kind of a tribute. Yeah.
Okay. That was a great match, honestly. Especially just seeing CD back was really good too. Especially with the latest news that AEW's finally going to Los Angeles. I'm thinking, can we please get an SCU reunion for one night only?
No.
Please?
No.
Please?
No.
Yes.
No.
Anyways.
No, you want to know why you don't do
still...
that? You don't bastardize stipulations in AEW. When they said if we lose, we'll never team up again, instead of doing like WWE and going, you'll never team up again, and till next week, you stick with your guns.
Because the pandemic ruined it. Pandemic ruined the opportunity for SCU to have at least one show in California. But anyway, I liked the match, and I liked with Brian saying, following the Code of Honor from Ring of Honor, but I'm in AEW, kicks heads, likely sending CD to Concussion City.
Hopefully not.
Pending trademark.
Well, CJ, what do you think of this match?
I like this match. didn't really expect them after the announcement to go in with this, but that was a nice surprise, and it was a good match. And yeah,
Yeah.
if you didn't watch it, you need to go watch it because yeah.
Next up was 15-team casino tag royal. Young Bucks won it. I enjoyed this. I thought they had good drama, and they've obviously built up really well. Really, I understand why the Young Bucks won. I'm not like complaining about it, but it would have been kind of cool had the Young Bucks lost, and we actually had an AEW pay-per-view without the Bucks, Cody, and Kenny. But I understand
This is
why
why
they.
I wanted the Acclaimed.
I don't want to put the Acclaimed in there.
Yes, you do.
No, if anybody, you put FTR in there, but that's beside the point. Or Proud and Powerful, which is probably the better choice. But I get why they did it. I'm not complaining about it. I'm not saying it's a bad call. I'm just saying personally, would have been kind of cool for this to, to leave them off the show. Actually have a stacked card with no elite members except for, Hangman, the champ. No, none of the EVPs are original EVPs. And yeah, but it's furthering the story. It's furthering the story with Red Dragon and the Bucks and all that stuff. It was necessary, but it is what it is. The drama there at the end was really good. Hats off to the Bucks and Top Flight there at the end. Really good work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Floor's open for everybody else.
Again,
Yeah.
I have to say what I want to say. I want the Acclaimed, but I'm okay with this. Bucks, Red Dragon, Luchasaurus, or Jurassic Express, because seriously, I don't know why they're not calling them. That's just Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. But I think it'll be pretty good. I don't know. Sorry. I had to sneeze for a moment. I really don't know who I want in this. I know that the Bucks.
You got some time to think about that before we get to predictions here in a minute. So,
but I thought it was an entertaining battle royale. I like battle royales. It was always a lot of fun, and it was really good seeing Darius Martin back. Like, oh my god! Like I forgot. Like, oh shit, he played. He worked for us. He still works for us. He was injured for about a year or something.
Torn ACLs with that style are no joke.
Yeah, I know. So it was really good battle royale, frankly.
Yep.
And also a really nice job on Glenn Jacobs. Thank you, Acclaimed.
Mm-hmm.
The real accountability buddies, by the way.
Yeah, they're not. Anyway.
No.
Yeah, they are.
They're not holding. They're not holding each other accountable. If they were
Anthony Bowens protects Max Caster. Max Caster protects Anthony Bowens.
No.
They have a chain and a boombox.
No.
Sean Spears just has a chair and Wardlow has muscles.
The editors protect Max Caster by cutting him when he starts to talk about Putin. That's accountability buddy.
Beside the point.
The editors that cut Max Caster are accountability buddies.
Yeah, for those who are wondering what the hell happened on Rampage, it turns out Caster made a very, very, very poorly timed Vladimir Putin joke. So that's why he seemed off. Which we already know what's going on in the world, and that's all we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Didn't learn his lesson last time.
Yeah, didn't learn his lesson, and also makes a very poorly timed joke, and then has the nerve to call out other people for their poorly timed jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Glass houses and stones there, Maxie boy. That's why he's not a good accountability buddy.
Yep. Yeah, you gotta hold him accountable.
Speaking of Maxie boys, Maxwell Jacob Friedman and CM Punk. Segway. So CM Punk comes out and finally this thing has taken now to me this program has gotten to the level that the internet had it at 3 months ago. Because now I'm finally they're finally got their guns blazing with this. CM Punk does this interview. Good interview from CM Punk. And the thing that I really liked about this interview is CM Punk, again, kind of siding with everything is canon in AEW. CM Punk brought up his Ring of Honor time, his time in WWE, and feuding with Jeff Hardy and feuding with The Undertaker. So, like, the fact that they're acknowledging those sort of things, it's decent enough to where, like, they're doing it in a way where if you don't know what Punk's talking about, you're not completely lost. So if somebody hasn't watched all the ROH or, wasn't watching wrestling in 2009 or 2013, they wouldn't be like, huh? What? Oh, I need to go on the internet? Damn, that's going to be hard, Like, you're not given... They're not making it so... AEW's not making it so somebody has to fucking do homework to understand the promo. But it's also one of those that when there's someone who, has a Best of CM Punk Ring of Honor DVD, I can go like, I know what he's talking about there. He's talking about whenever he poured beer down Raven's throat and said, I'm going to end your career, but first I'm sending you back to rehab. Okay. I remember that. Oh, I also remember whenever he took the ashes of Paul Bear and poured them on The Undertaker. Okay. I remember these heinous things that CM Punk has done.
Remember?
I love to remember when CM Punk was an asshole.
Also, CM Punk was a real-life member, Barry.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
He was. And then...
Remember the Straight Edge Society?
Serena Deeb's right there.
I know.
Is he going to shave her head again?
Please, God, no. I mean, hey, women can rock the shaved head, but it just does not look good on her.
It does. She looks very good with a shaved head.
But anyway.
Wait, and occasionally Luke Gallows does appear on AEW, so maybe, hey, they could reunite the famous trio.
Maybe he can stay away.
I don't think he's straight edge anymore.
I don't think so.
Well, hey, he cured him from being Festus.
Yeah. But anyway, so MJF, Punk does the promo, brings that up, and then we think that MJF is finally touched. They do the Jericho Shawn Michaels hug, kick in the ball spot, and then they take it to a whole nother level where MJF beats CM Punk to a bloody pulp, hangs him with the dog collar, very, very similarly to how he hung Raven with the dog collar whenever he poured alcohol down the alcoholic's throat. Only this time, there was no comeuppance for MJF like CM Punk was with Raven. MJF just beat the ever-loving fuck out of CM Punk, and yeah.
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 Something.
And there was no Tommy Dreamer to tie, to there, like there was with CM Punk. No, none of that. No. Yeah. So this is how you fucking get some heat. Like this is how, yeah. Like this was a fucking amazing segment. This is better than anything WWE has done in the last 6 months because I got told before I went live that this was not that good of a segment. No, so I'm taking your bullshit and throwing it back at you. This is better than anything WWE's done in the last 6 months, maybe a year, maybe probably. I'm gonna say probably a year. Yeah. So definitely how you build a bad guy for a big match, a big grudge match. And speaking of bad guys and title matches, maybe not so much grudge matches, Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter versus Thunderosa, Mercedes Martinez. Good match, kind of your standard, tag match before the big match. But in a shock, Thunderosa pins Britt Baker, which gives me a bad feeling going into Revolution, but more on that later.
It gives me a nice, warm, fuzzy feeling.
Yeah. You
It was
gotta.
fun seeing Britt Baker get the crap beat out of her.
Yeah.
But frankly, I would have booked this tag team differently. I would have just had Rebel and Hater in there. Why does Baker need to be in that tag match? Like, we're already going to see them fight later.
The same reason.
And I know this will probably be a double whammy with the trios match that we'll get to later, but still, like, I think Baker should have
because
really
that's just what
watched.
that's just that is a wrestling trope, and it's never gonna go away. You know,
Mm-mm.
before the big match, you have a tag
We
match.
could
They do that.
break the trope.
You could, but they're
always
not
have to
They're
gonna.
do
not
this way.
going to. It's an easy way to add more heat to the match, to add
Well,
more
that
to the
is my
story,
name.
and it's just it's an easy way to build another layer going into the championship match.
I think this also adds another layer to their story, though, because so Thunderosa beat Britt when it didn't count, when it literally didn't count, in the lights out match. She's now beat her in the middle of the ring in a tag team match, and now we're going into that third match. And I mean, kind of spoiler for our predictions: if Britt beats her Sunday, then going into the storyline is you don't deserve another chance at this belt. You can't win the big one. Kind of the Jericho storyline, but a little tweaked. Like every single time something serious is on the line here with me, you can't seem to get the job done. And so it kind of it puts a lot more heat on their feud and kind of extends that time a little bit. At first I thought it was time. Apparently maybe it's still time, but I don't think now it's time. You can put more heat on this by doing that tag match.
This is good. Mercedes says good match, but not very good go home wrestling match for pay-per-view. Depends on the direction they go in. It really does.
I guess also like depended on how heavily invested you were like watching this match. For me, it was just like it's another tag match. Unfortunately, I just really think
you can't give
Baker...
away. You gotta. You don't put a cheeseburger out as the appetizer before the main course. You just you put out bread and chips and mozzarella sticks. This night was the
what about sliders?
and you don't have two steaks. The steak is coming on Sunday. This was an appetizers. That's all these matches were appetizers. And segments. It was that last push to add something to the pay-per-view, and that's again, it's one of those like not everybody. Sometimes in KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Great advice hurts my feelings every time. Sometimes you don't have to have a big, long, epic match to get the point across. Sometimes you don't need to just have this balls to the wall, throwing everything you got into it match to when you got a pay-per-view coming up. Sometimes it's better to scale it back. Sometimes it's better just to have cheesy bread instead of the whole pizza. The whole pizza's coming. This is cheesy bread time now. And next up is Wardlow with his accountability buddy, Shawn Spears versus Cesar Bononi. This is great. Yeah.
Until somebody screwed up.
Yeah,
And for once, I'm against the Canadian.
It really is a shame that Wardlow screwed up and didn't follow orders and stopped him from
You need to be held more accountable.
But thank God,
Bullshit.
thank God, Shawn Spears is a good accountability buddy.
He's
and
the best accountability buddy.
He's the best. He went back and he's
bullshit.
like, look,
this is a
Max,
shoot here. This is bullshit.
No, this is the right thing to do.
He's not following the direction.
He's not being held accountable, and he needed to. He brought
Shawn Spears.
to hold him
wasn't his match. This wasn't his match. Wardlow.
But he's supposed to hold him accountable.
The same.
supposed to hold him accountable. That's the thing. You're supposed to
Accountable
hold
for
him
what?
accountable.
He won the match. What more do you want?
He
To
has
hit them with the chair after the match.
Yes,
No.
you gotta take people out. It's a long-term
It's
game
not
plan.
his match.
It's a long-term
If
game
Shawn
plan.
Spears
You
won the
work
match
as a
and he
team.
wanted to
You
do the
work as
chair,
a team.
then
You work as a team. You gotta hold someone accountable. If
If Wardlow was doing the right thing, then how come their boss had a talking to him later?
yeah, if Bill Belichick says, "Hey, we're gonna run the score up," you run the score up. He's done it for years.
Yes, because the Patriots can actually play as a team.
Yeah.
Wardlow is praised. Actually, no. Well, that's a
This
bad
is the
comparison.
equivalent of somebody on the Patriots going, Coach, Coach
No.
Belichick, I'm not doing
Shawn
this anymore.
Spears-
And MJF, the AEW equivalent of Bill Belichick, came out and put that guy in his place.
Okay, this is probably going to be the worst reference in the world, but hey, what the hell? Wardlow is like Ben Roethlisberger. He's the big, strong guy. He's the one that's, he's getting the job done. Shawn Spears is Antonio Brown who doesn't know when to shut the fuck up. And then he wants to leave. Again, bad comparison, but that's really the best I can know. And I'm not feeling 100% today because fuck this weather.
Well, we're all there, even though it's beautiful weather here.
I'm not complaining about this weather, even if it makes me feel miserable.
Yeah. If it stays this way, I won't be miserable anymore.
No more ice.
No more ice. Yes. But yeah, no. This is the equivalent of somebody saying, Coach Belichick, I'm not doing this anymore, and somebody having to step up and go, Bill, he's not going along with the game plan, and Bill Belichick stepping up and saying, I gave you an accountability buddy, and you gotta listen.
Wardlow was following his way of fighting. Shawn Spears just got in the way.
But
Wardlow is not supposed to follow his way of fighting. He's supposed to do what his boss tells him to do. If Bill
Wardlow is
But
paid
his
to
boss
do what he's
wasn't
told.
there.
If Bill Belichick says to run play action, and instead of running play action, you decide to run a halfback pass, you don't do that. You are not following the game plan. You are going into business for yourself. And Wardlow is going into business for himself, so his accountability buddy helped him become more accountable for his mistake and his selfishness.
Yep.
That's how we do things here. All right, so main event time.
How did I quit the Elite Era?
Main event time, Hangman Page and the Dark Order of Silver and Reynolds versus Adam Cole and Red Dragon. I like this match. More standard multi-man, go right before the pay-per-view, did its job, did what it needed to do.
I mean, honestly, I have nothing more to say. Like, this was a great trios match, especially to see Undisputed Era. Sorry, I mean, Red Dragon on AEW and fully complete. Sorry, Roddy Strong, fuck off.
Nick
O'Reilly.
Nick, I wish Nick was in here for that one.
Nick's gonna have so much heat.
Whatever. No, trust me, don't worry. For NXT TakeOver, that was an awesome turn of Roddy Strong joining. Just as of right now, I kind of like this right now. Until Roddy Strong is freed from his chains. But anyways, this was amazing. And the right guy won. I'm just not sure, what the hell are they trying to do? Crucify Adam Page? That part I didn't get. It's like, okay, you just made your point. Like, we already have a dog collar match. We don't need a crucifixion match. Because then I was suddenly expecting Undertaker to come out with Stephanie McMahon with the cross.
I just wanted to get some, they had to do something heinous to Hangman, and I mean that.
It almost looked like Page was going to be able to actually rip out of those duct tape. So I could see the duct tape would have been able to actually just peel off soon. But whatever.
All right, so now it is time to do what everybody's been waiting for.
Time for the blood sacrifices.
I got to refuel first. But it is time for our Revolution predictions. And yes, we are running a giveaway right now. It is up on all my social media pages. Leave your predictions in the comments on either Facebook, Instagram, or tweet at me your predictions on the Twitter. Each correct prediction is worth 1 point on all title matches. Post who you think will win and if it will be a DQ or a new champion, because all title matches are worth 2 points. First prize and the most amount of points will win a comic book, a loose action figure, a DVD, and a t-shirt from Pro Wrestling Tees. And if you beat me and you do better than my predictions, you get the bonus prize. The bonus prize of one of these lovely posters. It can be anything. It can be any poster, like this Hurricane poster. No, not the All-In poster. Like that Hurricane poster.
You said any poster. I'm just marking your words.
Any poster in this thing right here. There might be an All-In poster in this one right here. You don't know. Like, there was a Hurricane poster right here. You can win that. It's signed by the Hurricane. You might like that if you like the Hurricane. Or you can win this Mean Gene poster. Also win that. Or you can win something like, maybe this Tully Blanchard autographed picture. Who knows? But yeah, so second prize is a loose action figure and a comic book, and third prize is a comic book. All of your entries must be posted by 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday the 6th? 7th. 6th, whatever. 6. Sorry, it's tired. Long day. So now let's
Otherwise, if I posted my results on the 7th, I'd be the only one undefeated.
Yeah, but that's why you can't do that.
But it also wouldn't count.
Yeah, it wouldn't count.
Whatever.
It would be... That reminds me of a Bobby Heenan joke from WCW. He's on commentary with Tony Schiavone, and he goes, "Hey, Tony, let's do a bet on the Super Bowl. I'll take the Cowboys and you take the Bills." It's like, Brain, the Super Bowl was a month ago. Yeah, and who won? The Cowboys. Ah, you owe me money.
Oh.
That was a good Bobby Heenan joke. That's what that whole thing reminded me of. So, time for our predictions. First match is QT Marshall versus Hook. CJ, who have you got and why?
Here we go.
CJ?
I'm here. Hook.
Yeah, I'm going with Hook. Easy, are you going with Hook?
I don't know. I think QT Marshall might have a good chance. We might actually, have a pretty decent fight. What the fuck am I saying? Hook, obviously.
Hook, yep. The Hook will bring us back.
But actually, no, here's a better prediction. Will this be a squash match, or will QT actually put up a fight?
A little fight.
Little one, about that big.
But this is probably going to be the pre-show?
Yeah, it's pre-show.
The buy-in?
Yep, the buy-in. And the next buy-in match is Chris Statlander versus Layla Hirsch. EZ, who you got and why?
Poorly timed match. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna go with Statlander on this one.
Okay.
I'm not really sure how hostile the crowd is going to be with Layla Hirsch, though. That's going to be my worry. Again, for reasons we're obviously not talking about.
Yeah, hopefully not.
I mean, she's a bad guy anyway, so
yeah,
it wouldn't
they
be
go all Rocky 4 on this.
Yeah.
CJ, who are you picking?
I'm gonna go with Layla Hirsch on this one.
I'm going Layla Hirsch. You need to do it. Give it to Layla. She's already lost. She needs something. Let Layla have this one.
And start heating her up for something.
Yeah. All right. Next match, according to Wikipedia, is for the TBS Championship. Jade Cargill, the champion, versus Ty Conti. CJ, who you picking and why?
This kind of hurts because I'm gonna pick Jade. I don't think it's I don't think it's time, but I think that Ty probably could be one of the ones that I could see her pulling that belt off, but I just don't think it's time yet.
Mm-hmm. Easy.
I'm gonna go with Jade as well. I just think, like, don't get me wrong, Ty Conti's awesome. I just don't think she's the right person who could really take down Jade's undefeated streak, because I'm kind of waiting on Anna Jay to do that.
I'm not waiting on Anna Jade to do it, but I'm with you on every other point. Yeah, it's not time for Jade. It's a good match, and there's that seed of doubt. I compared this to when Okada wrestled Sonata and Zack Sabre Jr. in the spring of 2018 when he was still IWGP in his epic IWGP Championship reign. You didn't really conceivably think that Okada would lose to Sonata or ZSJ, but there was a good enough build that you kind of had that, well, maybe sort of feeling. And that's kind of where I'm at here. You kind of have that, well, maybe with Ty, but it's I think Ruby Soho is going to be the one to take the belt off Jade, but that's just me. Next match, the Andrade Hardy family office of Andrade El Idolo, Isaiah Cassidy, and Matt Hardy versus Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and Sting. CJ, who you got and why?
Darby, Sting, and Sammy.
Yeah, that's who I'm
They
going
don't
with.
let lose, so.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, it's just, yeah. Easy, are you with us on this one?
Yeah. Or just qualification, because seriously, I don't get this.
Yeah.
We literally could have had the TNT championship for Revolution, but
we gotta
okay.
have Sting in a match.
And Sting could still be in the match,
Not for the TNT.
just coming out.
Yeah, they're not. No, he's got to wrestle. Like that's the ticket there. Like, oh, we got to put Sting in an actual wrestling match.
Now, my real question would be: will Jeff Hardy appear?
We will see.
What day is what? No, because he is not free from his contract until the 9th.
Dope.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So
maybe next week.
Wait, but yeah, and 9th is on a Wednesday, so
yeah,
that would be. I don't know if that's the first day he's free or the end of his non-compete.
Yeah, because that could be.
Because if that's
everybody could turn on Matt at the end of this, and then we could set up something with the Hardy Boys versus the Andrade family office. Something of that nature.
Since Andrade owns all the power.
Yeah. Next up, we have the three-way match for the AEW Tag Team Championship. Jurassic Express, the champions, versus Red Dragon and the Young Bucks. Easy, who you picking and why in this one?
I'm gonna go with Red Dragon. That's right. I love Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, but I'm gonna go with Red Dragon. Because that way we can get Dragon Bucks. And no, I don't think like having this work the other way around can work. I just think Red Dragon.
Does that program need the titles though? It can't just be a grudge match.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm just gonna stick with my gut. I'm gonna say Red Dragon.
Okay, CJ, what are you saying?
I'm gonna go with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. And I think that some not necessarily shenanigans, but a little bit of shenanigans happened in the match to cause the official rift, like the big irreconcilable differences between Red Dragon and the Young Bucks to lead off with a program that doesn't involve the title.
All right, so I'm going with Jurassic Express as well. I feel it's too soon to have them lose the belts. Like they literally just kind of won them. You know, like this would be worse than FTR's reign if they lose it immediately like this. So yeah, I don't feel that Red Dragon versus the Bucks needs the tag titles, especially if Kenny comes back and you go full on OG Undisputed Era versus OG Elite. At that point, like you just have a good program with the stables. You have good faction warfare there, and you don't necessarily need titles to muddy up things. That's having a good tag division does not just means having more tag feuds other than just the titles, and that could be explored.
By the way, when the hell is Kenny coming back?
I don't know, but I feel like it's got to be soon.
He's having I think a hernia surgery, or just had hernia surgery. It's not the worst. Hernia surgery isn't like the super worst, but it's not. But that's like the last problem he's got.
Yeah. Next match is Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson. CJ, who you picking and why in this one?
I'm gonna go with Bryan. Mox bleeds a gusher, but Bryan wins, and that I don't know. We'll see what happens with the whole teaming up or not teaming up thing. I'm still really undecided on that, but that's who I think wins.
Okay. Easy. Who you picking for this one?
I'm also gonna go with Bryan Danielson on this one. Also, I forgot to point out that the match that he and Christopher Daniels had, Christopher was the first victim of Bryan Danielson's Daniels and Bryan's.
Yeah.
Or he joins the group later.
Yeah.
Maybe. But yeah, I'm going to go with Bryan Danielson on this one.
Yeah, I'm going Bryan Danielson as well. Like CJ said, I'm not sure where the team up goes from here, but I definitely think it would be a better call to have Bryan win this one than Mox.
If I'm not mistaken, he's never lost a pay-per-view.
Bryan? No.
No, I mean Moxley.
Oh, he lost the he lost the death match.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He lost last
Revolution. You mean that amazing barbed wire match that was just so explosive?
I'm talking about the one that made AEW look like a giant fucking joke. That one, yeah.
Yeah, trust me, I know.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that
one. Next match is Chris Jericho versus Eddie Kingston. CJ, who you picking and why?
It better be Eddie. It better be Eddie.
Better be Eddie Kingston.
It better be Eddie. Yep.
Better be Eddie. Across the board.
Nope.
Eddie Kingston! All right, next match. Face of the Revolution ladder match for a future TNT Championship match. Keith Lee versus Orange Cassidy versus Powerhouse Hobbs versus Ricky Starks versus Wardlow versus either Christian Cage or Ethan Page. Easy, who you picking and why?
Danhausen to win Money in the Bank. Oh, sorry, wrong pay-per-view. I'm going with Wardlow, but Danhausen will curse somebody.
We can only hope for that. CJ, what about you?
I'm going to go with Ethan Page gets in it and wins it. I'm going for the...
Wait. You're choosing against your man Ricky Starks?
I am. And it's okay.
Whoa.
He told me it was okay. We had a nice little chat about this, and he told me it was okay. Because
I realize how are Hobbs and Starks supposed to quote unquote work together with this?
That'll be a very interesting part of the match because I'm actually going with Ricky Starks in this one. I think Ricky versus Sammy will be a fun match, and I feel like that's something they can do. And yeah,
that would be against it.
Since it's a TNT title match, I could see Ricky getting that shot. We haven't really seen a lot of Rick. think Ricky and Sammy's a fresh matchup, so you could do that. Now, if this were a world title match, I'd be probably predicting somebody else, but for the TNT title, going Ricky Starks because Ricky Sammy. All right.
Go with Wardlow.
Next match, according to Wikipedia, is the AEW Women's World Championship match. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD versus Thunderosa. Oh.
I'm still mad that Thunderstruck is in her entrance theme. I'm sorry. That's just me.
Probably costs a lot of money.
Yeah, ACDC is expensive.
John Moxley has Wild Thing. Hook has the Chairman.
John Moxley has a Wild Thing cover from a band that is that allowed Atsushi Onita to use it, so it's a lot easier to probably get that compared to ACDC. ACDC is about like Metallica, where it's like.
Oh, and Jurassic Express has whoever the guy wrote Jungle Boy.
Baltimora is not having a problem with that.
Yeah,
Baltimore is probably like $1,000 a time you play.
Actually, I also forgot that the lead singer of Baltimore, he actually died. This was like years and years back.
If they couldn't get the final countdown from Europe, imagine what Thunderstruck would cost.
Oh my god!
I'm just.
How about Imagine Dragons is Thunder? Thunder? I don't know.
No, don't do that. That denies us Thunder Rosa. So, but who are you picking and why in this one? Who are you picking and why, Easy?
Oh, okay. I thought you were asking TJ. I'm gonna go with Thunderosa. Oh, wow.
Okay. CJ, who are you picking?
The era of DMD is over.
Long live the good doctor. I'm going with Britt Baker, DMD.
I am going with Britt Baker as well. I was convinced it was Thunderosa's time until she won this match. And I'm like, usually the person that wins the tag match doesn't win the title. And while I do think it should be Thunderosa's time, and while I do think this would be the perfect time to put the belt on Thunderosa, it's a bad omen.
Or maybe Baker loses with Jamie or Rebel turning on her.
Well, Rebel shouldn't turn on her because what would Rebel do without Britt Baker, honestly?
Yeah, because they're the real accountability buddies.
You know, other people
are the original ones, actually.
They can learn from that lead. But no, Rebel is... We all love Rebel. She is a lovely, wonderful person, and I think she's great, but she's not really, like... She doesn't really have a wrestling career anymore. Like,
she's not really gonna strike it out on her own.
Yeah, she's kind of she is a better supporting character manager, take the fall in a multi-person that one than
a very good valet.
I will say yes, exactly. I will say this much. I don't think Jamie Hayter should beat Britt Baker. I think that's a bad call. That's a really bad call. And I don't dislike Jamie Hayter, but that's a bad call. Like, we're getting to kind of that point in the Britt Baker reign where whoever wins is going to be made. You know, whether it's Thunderosa or Ruby Soho or Anna Jay or, you know, maybe a debuting...
Waiting for Athena to show up?
I was going to say a debuting Athena. You know, whoever wins the belt is going to be a big fucking deal right out of the gate. And you don't want to risk on somebody who's not... You're taking way too much of it. It would have been the equivalent of, you know, using my Okada reference, if Sonata would have beat Okada in late January of 2018. Like, okay, so Naito loses on the big stage, and then Sonata challenges, and then Sonata wins, like, before they even have a chance at the next Kenny match. It's like, or the Tanahashi match or anything. It's just kind of like, okay. That's one way of doing it. Like, I'm not saying that Jamie'd be a bad champion, but I don't think Jamie Hayter should dethrone the good doctor. I do feel Thunderosa should dethrone her, but again, kind of citing Naito, like, everybody thought Naito was going to win on January 4th, 2018, and it didn't happen, and there was more story to be told, and maybe there's more story to be told. Maybe something happens, but I'm thinking with the way Dynamite went, gotta go with Britt Baker. Next match is a dog collar match. MJF versus CM Punk. CJ, who you picking and why?
CM Punk.
Yeah, CM Punk's got to win this one. Yeah. And I'd be okay with that.
It's fine. He lost twice.
Technically. Yeah. He lost twice technically. He lost in Chicago.
But they've only had 2 matches, so they can always revisit later. Much later, like with the title involved.
This is old school where, like, okay, MJF beats Punk in his hometown and takes his pride and, does that, but then, when the violent match happens, the bad guy gets his comeuppance, and I feel like that's what this should be. Easy, do you have any disagreement with us?
I'm literally thinking because 2 years ago we had the same view of MJF getting his comeuppance when he put Cody Rhodes through so much hell and the most uncomfortable whipping of a white boy. Sorry, that's a really bad joke. But I don't know. It's like it's once again going back to Chicago. We expect Punk is gonna beat MJF. They have a rematch at Revolution or something, but it's the other way around where we think, Punk will actually win the dog car match. I'm actually thinking, I don't think so. I actually think MJF will win this. It will keep him up in power and would rise to his potential world title match that he will possibly, hopefully, please get a title match at Double or Nothing, and then he becomes the new world champ against whoever will be the world champ. I know I'm sorry to say that, but
you wouldn't do that at All Out. You wouldn't hold out for MJF at All Out.
I think his time's honestly now.
So you don't think Hangman should hold it till All Out? That's to me more my thing. I think. Especially if you're going to do it at the United Center.
Mm-hmm.
A possibility, or since AEW bought Ring of Honor, maybe we might get the All In name back because that was Ring of Honor property for a while.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that here in a second. But
yeah.
Okay.
I'm going with MJF.
Okay, going with MJF. Well, speaking of that world title match, it is AEW World Championship. Hangman Adam Page versus Adam Cole. Baby.
Battle of the Atoms.
Battle of the Atoms. Easy. Who are you picking in this one?
My heart says Adam Cole, baby, but my gut says Hangman. And for the sake of sanity, Hangman will defend. He will win. He will successfully defend his title.
Yeah, he's got to. It's too early for him to lose it. You can't really make Hangman. You can't have, with all this build up to Hangman winning, you can't make him look like a chump and lose it the first pay-per-view defense.
Yeah. And at least it would focus on the Red Dragon Young Bucks tension, or especially if we get a reunited Bullet Club, depending on who Geek's favorite New Zealander, Jay White, comes into the picture here. So we'll see.
Let's say Scott McLaughlin's wrestling now?
No, silly. The Switchblades.
Oh, no. No one likes him.
The guy that is still in his emo phase.
Oh, no. That guy's awful. CJ, who you picking?
I'm going with Hangman. He was going to
be your sponsor.
No. I'm okay being poor then.
We will accept emo money. I'm just saying.
Well, we still got to talk to Danhausen about the bags of moon.
Jimmy Jacobs was a better emo wrestler. Anyway, Hangman across the board. Yep.
Hangman across the board.
So, we alluded to earlier the big announcement that Tony Khan has bought Ring of Honor. What do we make of this? Like, there is a many questions. All we know now for sure, looking back at if I can pull it up, maybe here one of these days. Bum, 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 bum. There it is.
Copyright infringement.
It's a cover. It's a cover. I'm protected by parody law. The only thing that we know for sure is that they have bought the library. Like that's the only thing that's been. That's the only thing that they've really commented on publicly is we have the content of the ROH video library. So other than that, it could be anything.
Does that include Supercard of Honor? Or the G1 Supercard?
I'm not sure how that one works because I think so, but yeah.
Or is that gonna be like a custody battle with New Japan?
I don't know. I don't know how it works. I know it's on the. It was on the G1 Supercard was on the New Japan World app, but we are also having. So was All In, and then it wasn't anymore. So who knows what they're gonna do? I don't know. I don't know. I can't answer that one. But what do you guys think this means?
I think CJ kind of called it that Ring of Honor would live. So I'm giving her the.
But do we even know it's gonna live? It could just be a hey, thanks for that. Okay. You know, they could be WWE. What WWE did to WCW, they could be doing this. Like, okay, cool, we own you now. Bye. We don't know. That is the great unknown.
See, and I'm actually trying to go through and look at what the official statement was because you said that, oh, they just bought the library, but I believe that in the press release he stated he bought everything. He bought the name, he bought the equipment, he bought the video library. So, and we kind of talked about this off air. I don't know why you buy all that equipment if you already have equipment and don't intend to use it. Unless, you just got a much better deal. And I don't understand why Sinclair Broadcasting would ever do that. So in my mind, he is probably going to intend to use said equipment to run another show. Right. Whether that runs under an AEW banner or an ROH banner remains to be seen. That's up to him. I can say what I would do if I was in his shoes, but there's a lot of things that I would do that he doesn't do. Mm-hmm. I think, personally, that ROH lives. It lives as a separate brand, much like SmackDown to Raw, under Tony Khan Industries. Tony Khan Wrestling Promotions Incorporated.
LLC, yeah.
Please incorporate so I can see your freaking books.
Tony Khan Alpha Entertainment. It's totally different than Vince McMahon's Alpha Entertainment because Tony Khan's name is in it. It's like Danhausen's theme song. It sounds like tequila, but it's not. It has Danhausen in it.
Yeah.
But okay, so for my 2 cents, I'll just make this quick so that way we don't have another 2-hour show. I personally agree that it should be run as a separate brand, for the guys that, they can't make it to AEW or to just ease off the roster a little bit, you put those guys into Ring of Honor. I wouldn't call it a development brand. It's like, no, it's like it's a sister partnership. We have AEW as like the main show. Ring of Honor is like, it's another indie show. It just happens to be owned by Tony Khan. And that way, you could honestly get some pretty damn awesome, cross promotions between the two. And who knows, maybe we might have one and just one invasion angle led by a certain somebody that we don't know whether he will even be part of Ring of Honor after his little WWE debates have, hit the shits.
Real quick on
Um,
that. And this is I will quote this. This was from Dave Meltzer. So take it for what it's worth. Some people love Dave. Some people hate Dave. According to Dave Meltzer, his quote is, "A lot of people think, oh, Cody Rhodes is going to run ROH, and I've been asked this by many people today. Oh, it was all swerve. Cody's going to run ROH, and I tell you, it's not. He got a better offer, or in his mind, a better offer. Cody is not coming back."
okay.
That is
So
according to Dave Meltzer.
that's fine. That's fine. All right. So, anyways, then scratch that entire idea then. But I think Ring of Honor, they can still, at least I think they'll have better financial backing to make sure their shows don't look completely abandoned. Because seriously, like I remember, like saw pictures when Ring of Honor held a show at one of the most historic hockey arenas in Toronto, the Maple Leaf Gardens. They ran a show there. I saw pictures of what it looked like. It looked completely empty. Like, holy crap. Like, for a Ring of Honor show, that's really stupid. And Toronto loves indie wrestling from Super Kicked, Greek Town Wrestling, Destiny, and of course the legendary Smash Wrestling, which they are phenomenal. Um, I, you could still, run a Ring of Honor as the way it is, just with better, I guess a better broadcasting deal. Hey, who knows? Maybe they'll have, pay per views you can find on Fight, or they can have YouTube shows. Not trying to compete with NWA, and also, just my opinion, I think they would be better, I guess, broadcasted than AEW Dark. I'm sorry, I'm just like Dark is better to see in person than it is to watch. So, but
Yeah.
who knows? I still think Supercard of Honor is going to be run. But my idea that I had was for All Out or All In Weekend, wherever the hell the name is going to be, I would run Death Before Dishonor the night before All Out. Put it in one of, like, the smaller venues or something. Like, if that show could be out in Schaumburg, where All In was born, and then United Center or whoever would be hosting All In. Well, actually, United Center, because I doubt Allstate Arena would want to make a deal, the Rosemont territory. So that's honestly what I would do. If that is the pinnacle event for AEW, which is All Out, I would put, a major Ring of Honor pay-per-view the night before All Out. That would just be my idea. That would be, like, honestly great marketing for Tony Khan to really build up all the wrestling fans that would come together in Chicago or wherever they could be hosting this. That's just my idea. Same could be done for the other pay-per-views. As for Supercard of Honor, I feel like that's always just been the WrestleMania weekend territories, which I really don't mind.
Yeah.
It could give me a reason to go to Supercard of Honor and then just skip WrestleMania, or, well, who knows?
Right.
Who knows? I'm thinking about the California show. I'm thinking about it.
So
As
for
long
me,
as Logan Paul can fuck up.
I think ROH. I think it needs to be kind of like almost a much more wall built up brand extension. Like, Tony owns all the contracts. But, like, rather than it be like WWE's brand extension where there's drafts and there's all this cross promotion and, oh, this is a ROH guy, but he's on Dynamite every week. Or, oh, here's an AEW guy, but he's on Ring of Honor every week. Like, everybody's under contract with Tony Khan. But you bring in different bookers, bring in different sets. Like, I mean, like, have high quality production, but just, one has an AEW look, one has a Ring of Honor look. One has this sort of booking, one has this sort of booking. These wrestlers are in Ring of Honor, these wrestlers are in ROH. And you could cross promote every now and again, but don't bastardize it. Don't. When somebody from Ring of Honor goes to AEW, it should be a big deal. When someone from AEW shows up in ROH, it should be a big deal. It shouldn't just be like, huh, yeah. Oh, so Eddie Kingston was on Ring of Honor this week, you guys. Like, that shouldn't happen. It should be, oh my god, I can't believe, like, I guess they're not going to use him in AEW anymore, but because he's on the Ring of Honor show now. Something like that. Dave says Cody's not going to be involved. I kind of hope that this is one of those instances where Dave's wrong, because I think, Cody getting to use his vision for ROH would be a good thing, because, the rumor and innuendo was that Cody and Tony Khan did not see eye to eye creatively, and you know what? Let Cody do his creative vision in ROH.
Let that be. I was thinking too,
let that be different than AEW. Let the talent be different. You can move things around when someone's done all there is to do in one of the promotions. You can have them show up in AEW or ROH, or when Bryan Danielson has nothing left to conquer in AEW, he can go back to ROH. When Jonathan Gresham has nothing left to conquer in ROH, he can make his AEW debut. Like, you can do things like that. I mentioned a few weeks ago that FTR should probably leave AEW and go do an independent tour. Well, maybe they don't have to leave necessarily being paid by Tony Khan to go freshen their act up a little bit. Or maybe not freshen their act up, but get a fresh set of opponents and go into this Briscoes feud, maybe. Maybe FTR goes to ROH. You let these promotions happen, but, like, do what the brand split failed to do. What it did very well at the first part of it, but do what it has since failed to do, and that is, okay, we're all under the same banner, we're all pushing for the betterment of wrestling, but this is two different things, and they will be ran two different ways. And one's this creative, one's that creative, one is these wrestlers, one is that, and you leave it that way. There's there,
and you treat them equally.
Yes.
Like, you don't keep the Punk and the Bryan and the Mox and the Miros and the Hangmans and the Kennys all on Dynamite, and put the lesser ones like they have kind of on Rampage, which is justifiable, but you don't do that, and you kind of split it right down the middle. So Dynamite and ROH both have ex-WWE guys and super top guys that AEW has created or the Indies created, and they have their mid-level guys that have kind of risen up, and then they have their starting out talent. And a piece that I kind of see for them is making a deal with Sinclair Broadcasting, because they're going to be hurting to lose their content, that they can still play ROH's video library, or better, they make a deal with Sinclair to put Dark and Elevation on their channels. It's a little bit less than YouTube, but it would probably be more money and more guaranteed money. Views are not guaranteed money. You get that guaranteed money, which starts paying back the however much you paid for Ring of Honor. You go back to Turner and you say, I now have a new show for you. I've got 2 hours of content. What days and hours do you have for me? Because I can take this elsewhere. That they are a proven content creator that brings in key demo numbers fairly regularly. We complain about how they dip. Their numbers are solid. Their numbers are incredibly solid, so they can demand a pretty good price for those 2 hours of content. The next conversation,
one interesting idea, but you keep going, CJ. Keep on.
Yeah. The next thing you do is you have another meeting with Turner and you say, I now have a complete video library of not only my 3 years in business, but also the last 20 of most of my stars.
Right.
Let's
And
talk.
put that on HBO
HBO.
Max. All the old AEW stuff, All In, and all of the ROH shows on HBO Max. Holy shit!
You immediately sign that contract, and that's 10 million at least, easy money for the next couple of years. Immediately, you have zero expenses because it's all revenue. You're giving the rights to your intellectual property, the streaming library, to another entity that has to pay for all the configurations and everything like that. It's 100% revenue generating. Easy money.
And also the coup
No,
de
I'm
grace.
not giving you money.
The coup de grace with all that is, yes, it is most of your libraries, Foundation, Brian, Punk. Mox was never in Ring of Honor, but you know, people like that, Red Dragon, Adam Cole, but you also have people from other companies, Foundation. You have Seth Rollins Foundation. You have Kevin Owens Foundation. You have
Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn. The guy that wrestled just like him, move for move.
Yeah.
You have some old AJ Styles stuff in there. You have some old I know he's not with WWE, but like old Samoa Joe stuff. You got a lot of shit on there that you can go like, oh hey, this other guy. And if you even want to be a dick about it too, you can be like, oh, congratulations to Seth Rollins. Here's Bryan Danielson making him tap out. We own the rights to that now.
And you can make ROH pay-per-views the same. You can interweave them together into AEW. I wouldn't. If you're honoring the legacy of ROH, I would discount the price of both and do 8 pay-per-views a year. Potentially, you have that ability to put that on the HBO Max network as well. It depends on how much they're going to pay you.
It depends on like that revenue stream, because you don't want to do without that pay-per-view money if pay-per-view money's helping you.
But if they can make a
that.
deal.
Oh, you can make a deal, absolutely. But like WWE can afford to not do pay-per-views anymore and lose part of that revenue stream by putting it all on Peacock. AEW, we're not so sure yet.
It's a toss-up.
They still got the WWE network outside of the US.
Well, that's what I'm saying is Peacock, WWE Network's the same thing. There is a source for $9.99 a month to watch the pay-per-view, and that has taken away from the I'm going to order WrestleMania, and WWE can afford to do that. They've done it. They've adjusted their business model for it.
They lost a lot in that. So that's been a really big conversation piece, that WWE making that jump, especially at the price point that the network was on when they did that, was a really big loss and a really dumb move. But Vince and the other two that are no longer there were so stubborn about making the network work and being just like one of the FANG groups, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google, FANG. That he wanted to be one of those groups so badly. He was determined to make it work. He's like, I know, I'll put WrestleMania on there. I'll put all my pay-per-views on there. Because he thought that more people would subscribe to the network. It wasn't necessarily a money grab, and it wasn't they had enough money to do it and not fail. But it wasn't a really smart business decision on WWE's part when they did it.
That's why I'm saying maybe it's not a good idea for AEW.
But if you have the figures in front of you, because right now AEW has to put on these kinds of cards because they have to entice you to spend $50 to buy it. They have to make it good. WWE lost their incentive to make a pay-per-view good when they lost the dollar incentive of getting you to buy it. AEW could potentially make a good enough deal where it evens out with Turner. It just depends on how much Turner's willing to pay for putting it on HBO Max. If they can make it to where it's cost effective, there's a lot less risk in just putting it on there, because Turner paying them is guaranteed money. Like I said, there's no fluctuation in how much they will. The deal is the deal, and it doesn't matter how many views, how many buys, how many subscribers. None of that matters to AEW if they make that deal with Turner and HBO Max.
I mean,
it doesn't matter.
Time Warner, right? Turner really doesn't have any. Does Turner actually still exist, or is it all mainly Time Warner now? I'm just curious.
It's all enveloped into one big thing, but it's, if you can get the money for it, the deal is better to put everything on HBO Max. If they'll give you the money.
If they don't, yeah.
The problem is that they just got a new president that says we're not just going to throw money at the wall. He is looking at realistic budgets and cost-cutting measures. So it's kind of coming in a really bad time. We'll see how long that lasts and what he thinks is, if it's cost-effective, then it's cost-effective for him. I'm not sure that that's necessarily the case, but you've already sunk all this money into that streaming service. So more content can't hurt. That was NBC's and Peacock's way. More content will only help. We've sunk this much money in. We might as well sink a little bit more.
You can watch the Super Bowl on Peacock. You know, that's going to get some people to subscribe.
Yep. They've made a lot of concessions to make Peacock successful, and it's kind of not been the greatest. But that's a whole other conversation. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, they have a really, really big opportunity, and if they decide just to let ROH fall to nothing but a video library, I think it's a huge waste.
If they let ROH fall nothing but a video library, then I don't want to hear anyone from our fan base going, well, Vince could have done something with WCW, but Vince is such an asshole.
Vince just ruins wrestling. Vince hates wrestling.
Yeah, I don't want to hear Vince ruins wrestling anymore. If Tony Khan does not try and do something with Ring of Honor other than just use it as a video library, because if Tony Khan does not use Ring of Honor, does not try and use the brand as more than just a video library and a compilation service for his current talent, then he is just as bad as Vince McMahon of, I just bought this because I wanted to. I just bought the, because for all intents and purposes, if he doesn't use Ring of Honor, doesn't use the time slot, doesn't use it as a touring brand, doesn't use it as something, he's eliminated a place for people to go work.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think that's what he's going to do? No. But if he did, I don't want to hear anybody from the AEW fan base bitch about Vince anymore. I don't want to see any backflips of, well, but Tony Khan gave AEW and AEW and AEW and AEW. No. If Tony Khan does not do anything with Ring of Honor, he's being a dick, just like Vince McMahon was with WCW. Just saying.
Yeah.
And I believe that is it for us this week.
Oh, just one last thing, because this was something I was going to say. If Tony Khan wants to put Ring of Honor on TV for any of their tapings, Warner does have another network that's not called TBS and TNT. It's True TV. And they do get some pretty high ratings with some shows like Impractical Jokers, what used to be Adam Ruins Everything. And, if you put
that would be good,
on,
but I think that wouldn't be a bad thing necessarily, but
if you want to put Ring of Honor back on TV, I would do that.
I mean, they own a lot more than just that too.
I'm also saying extending it. If you put if you talk to Sinclair and you bring Ring of Honor, you say, hey, we'll have Ring of Honor content, and then you could also negotiate a way of getting AEW content syndicated on the Sinclair networks, I think that's pretty as big, or if not better, than being on True TV. Because then you have a Sin. Then you
If
have Sin.
Warner wants to put Ring of Honor on TV, I'd put them on True TV.
You might want to because if you can get,
I'd talk about putting him on Adult Swim.
Yeah, that's true too.
Ooh, oh yeah,
even
they got
better.
Talk about that.
Put them on Adult Swim, yeah. But I'm saying also try and get Sinclair in your good graces, because if you can go hey, we'll still put Ring of Honor in. Oh hey,
you got to be real careful, because if you try to go for the streaming deal, then you're not going to really be able to offer syndication to Sinclair Broadcasting.
Yeah.
You can offer them your YouTube that,
that's what I was...
Warner doesn't have access to, but anything under Dynamite, Rampage, or ROH would be off limits.
Well, what I was kind of thinking, remember AEW could do something. Remember way back in the day on those local channels, they'd have on in the mornings or sometimes really late at night, it just depends. They'd have Metal, Jacked, and they'd have the recap shows, things like that, from Raw recap show. I think it was called Bottom Line, and there's Afterburn for SmackDown and stuff like that. And they had those sorts of shows where I'll use Metal as an example. Metal was on the WB after the cartoon section was over, and they'd have 3 lower card matches, and spliced in between the 3 lower card matches, they'd have clips from the week. Here's a match between Al Snow and S.A. Rios, and then here's a recap of what The Rock did, and then here's a match with D'Lo Brown and Gangrel, and then here's what Chris Jericho did, and then here's a main event that's Dean Malenko and Jerry Lynn, and hype up what's going to happen on Raw this Monday. You could do some if they would let you show some clips from Dynamite or Rampage, you could do something like that with Dark. Have the Dark or Dark Elevation matches, and they're and then here's Kenny's segment, and here's Chris Jericho, and here's Punk's segment, and make a 1-hour version of that in syndication. That would something like that be on the table if they decided to try and play a little ball with Sinclair?
I mean, you can try, but you have to be open and honest with your current TV partner about what they want and what they'll let you do, because that content is being sold to them first and foremost.
Yeah, obviously don't jeopardize
what
you got with Time Warner to put a syndicated version, recap show / some matches from Dark on a Sinclair group. But on the flip side, it's that's more content, and that's more eyeballs, and that's AEW doing more things. That's somebody flipping through the channels and going, what's this? Oh, okay. Cool.
And maybe they don't. Maybe this is the end of ROH for Sinclair. Maybe they're not interested in that. Maybe they're interested in purchasing content from someone else who's trying to get in the game. MLW. New Japan has got some new content on TV right now. So
we will see.
I don't know. We'll see where all the chips fall, but this is a very inconvenient time for me. I had a lot going on, and now I have to my brain will not allow me to not think about this and the possibilities. So I'm going on a 72-hour headache. It's fantastic. If you could just pick a better time after tax time next time, Tony, that'd be great.
Yep. Well,
I already did my taxes.
Yeah.
Oh, I did my taxes, but I've got a whole gigantic 990 form and another one looming. So
yeah. Well, we appreciate everybody taking the time to view this. If you want to enter the contest, it is on my social media pages, facebook.com/athleticgeek9, Twitter athletic_geek9, Instagram athleticgeek9. You must comment on the social media pages or tweet at me in order to enter the contest. And your entries must be received by 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday the 6th. If you enjoyed, please give it a like, share, subscribe for more content, not just from the world of pro wrestling, but from the world of comic books, gaming, anime, and all things geek culture. Check out the Geeking Out podcast. CJ and I started the first part of our watch-along of SummerSlam 1991, and the pay-per-view might have peaked in part 1 with Brett versus Perfect, but, you know,
But my
definitely-
anger didn't.
Yeah, I did not, because somebody else was in the main event. But you know what? That's fine. So check that out. I'm going to try and get Collection Comic of the Week started back up. It's been a rough couple weeks. But I think I think we're going to try and get an episode of Collection Comic of the Week back rolling. There's a book I really want to look at, and it's a very special book. So be on the lookout for that. So, yeah. Do y'all got some social media y'all want to plug?
Ladies first.
Sure,
I got a lot to say, actually.
Yeah, you do. I've got the one thing, that one singular thing, Twitter at CJTMall0.
Mm-hmm. All right, easy.
All right. You can find me at Eric Zarins at ERIKZARINS. Shout out to the amazing Podcast Wrestling Federation, who I did reach out to them to hopefully have them enter in your contest. And here are some upcoming adventures if you're going to be in the following areas. So let's start with in a few weeks, March 30th, my Winnipeg Jets will be in Buffalo taking on the Sabres, who are struggling with really bad attendance. So hopefully, we can get a lot of Winnipeggers here. Jericho Omega, if you're listening to this, would love to see you. Although, actually,
Omega
Jericho might be busy.
Omega doesn't like hockey.
Screw him then. April 23rd, one of the most amazing announcements I ever heard from Absolute Insane Wrestling. They are having their show that is called Eyes of the Beast, I believe. I'm just trying to look it up right now. Trying to see. Oh wait, yeah, Eyes of the Beast, which I got a front row seat to see the one and only Mr. Kaze Ninare himself, Minoru Suzuki, who will be
Minoru Suzuki.
Minoru Suzuki. Sorry, my voice doesn't want to English. And Memorial Day weekend, if you are in Indianapolis, come to the Indy 500s. That's where I'm going to be at. And then lastly, summertime, June 30th, or June 29th, sorry. All Elite Wrestling is finally returning to my second American hometown, Detroit, Michigan. Finally, AEW at the Little Caesars Arena. I'm going to be there, and hopefully one of my good friends, Sydney Leet, and her brother Austin will be there. I have not seen those guys in 2 years since AEW Revolution. So that's going to be a whole crazy month of adventures for me, because I love traveling and I don't like often being stuck in Cleveland for a while. So I need to get my adventureness out there. This pandemic's been driving me crazy.
Well, it's getting out there. But for Easy and CJ, I'm the Athletic Geek. We are just Marks, and we're out. Have a good one. All right. It is time for bed.